Thank you, Chair. Chair, I don't think I have much to add. When I vied for the position of Governor of Nairobi, I knew what I was going for. When I made the decision to vie for Senator of Nairobi, I was with you in Belfast or Londonderry, one of the two places in Northern Ireland. And I remember I was chairing a meeting, but I chose not to chair that particular session, and I was scribbling on a long notepad. At that time, we were in the same committee. You're a senator, I was a member of the National Assembly, but chair of the Cohesion Committee and Equal Opportunities. I understand my city of Nairobi. For many years, our city has been on a free fall, especially following 1992 elections, when the ruling party then lost grip of the capital. And so there's been a lot of systemic decline in our city over those years, whether it is in matters of land, in matters of fiduciary, issues. And so when I took this task, I knew what I was going to face and what is ahead of me. As you've seen, from 2013 to 2018, Nairobi has been getting disclaimer opinions. It's been a mess. From 2018 to 2022 has been also equally a problem. But when you're faced with such a task, what do? You summon the best that you can put together. Of course, you believe in God, but you must have a plan on how to sort out this city. This city will be sorted out by ourselves. And that's what I keep telling my team. It is true, most of the staff in the county, apart from the chief officers and not all chief officers, some chief officers had even been there, and I promoted them. But apart from chief officers, CECs and advisors, most of the staff have been there. Just this weekend, there was a celebration of Team 89, inspectorate officers who joined in 1989. And many are there, some have retired. 35 years ago. To bring change, there is no instant thing you can do. It is an ideal situation, but there is no magic wand that is waved to change a city like Nairobi. But I'm happy that I can be able to track progress that we've made, significant in many, many areas, whether it is in healthcare. Chair, in healthcare, we have things that have never been seen before. Nairobi had no ICU. Kenyatta is what used to be seen as ICU. We have now more than one intensive care unit. The lifts at Pumwani last worked when I was born, Chair. Now they are back working. Our ladies can go to theater. We've introduced the position of CEOs in our hospitals. And there's been transformation because we just had boards and medical superintendents. Medical superintendents are doctors. And so sometimes they may not look at the holistic nature of running a hospital, from the gate to the customer service, to supply chain, to the issues of human resource, to technology. Those changes are taking time, but they're being felt. In 10 years, from 2013 to the time I became governor, scholarships and bursaries in Nairobi were given worth 3 billion. But in less than 10 months, I was able to more than half that. We've given scholarships and bursaries 1.88 billion. People around this city who had never felt the county, they had never felt devolution, now are wondering, also, actually, my child can get a bursary thrice a year. It used to be given once in 3 years. Now it's given 3 times a year. Every term, 2.5 million first term, 2.5 million second term, 2 million third term. 1 out of 4 children in Nairobi were not going to school because of hunger, Chair. Most interventions to deal with hunger had been focused in the arid areas. That's why even the department in the ministry is called nomadic education something. We said it when we were in the Senate that we need to do a feeding program. In fact, I'm very pleased that if you look at the Hansard when Senator Wambu had brought the mang beans bill, I spoke about how Nairobi will be buying ndengu from Kitui, which we are doing. Chair, in less than a year, we're able to build 10 kitchens. We're able now to feed 184,000 children every single day at 5 shillings. We've been able to get significant support towards that program. School enrollment has gone up from 250,000 to 310,000 just in the second phase of the school feeding program. In the third phase of that program, Chair, we're going to make sure, because we've now broken ground to another 7 kitchens, We're going to make sure that all children in public schools are fed, and then the public schools become satellites to the informal schools, upbeat schools. When I say Nairobi was on a free fall, there's no explanation why Nairobi has 210 public primary schools, yet we have 17 constituencies, 85 wards. If you look at maybe some of your constituencies in your counties, one constituency might have 100. But how do we sort out that challenge? Do we say, let us not feed these ones because we can't feed everyone? Today we've increased that enrollment. We're now building 5,000 classrooms. The national government committed, and they put 1 billion for classrooms. We have put 500 million, and every year 1,500 classrooms. Meaning by the end of this first term, we'll possibly have left more classrooms than I found when I became governor of Nairobi. So, Chair, the challenges are numerous. This is a city whose last master plan was done in 1976. The last physical master plan of the city, following the 1948 master plan. We have now gotten resources to do the next master plan of the city through the Millennium Challenge Corporation. And that's why in 2 weeks we're going to be accompanying the national government to the US. NMS made an attempt to do those master plans. New plan is a foundation for planning. But that was not done. We have $60 million now just to do that proper master planning for our city in 12 months. And after that, we secured $700 to $800 million to implement it. A city that had not been planned looking forward, of course, would have the challenges that we see today, that there's no water. People are wondering, Chairman, why is it that the dams are full of water, but the water rationing is going on? And when you try to explain that, very few then understand that, first of all the water that we receive in Nairobi must be treated through a treatment plant. In fact, because of the rain in Gatere Forest and the debris in the Chania River, our production capacity at Ngedu has moved down from 18,700 cubic meters per hour to 17,400. And that's why we're able to get NOS to go and clear, help us clear that. Because of that lack of planning, Chair, as I go to conclude, I know I've taken time, Nairobi had only 4 sources of this water that we talk about. 3 of them done by the colonialists. Kikuyu Springs done in 1904 to 1910, 6,000 cubic meters to the city. Ruiru Dam done in 1928. Sasumo done in 1958, 60 million liters per day. Those 3 were done before we got independence. When we got independence, the only project that had been done was was Ndakaine, done between 1994 and 1997, producing 84% of our water. But it was done with a view of a population of the year 2002, which was 2 million Nairobians. So every day we get 525.6 million liters against a demand now that has gone to 900 million liters a day. What have we been able to do within this 1 year and how many months? Almost 1.5 or just slightly above. Maybe 20 months to be exact. We've unlocked the first project that was being done after that period of Northern Collector 1 to add 140 million liters to bridge that gap of water. We have secured, and that process is now ongoing, support to do Northern Collector 2 and Maragua 4, which adds 220 million liters of water. But the next 1 million liters of water also must be looked at. Our engineers, for instance, at Nairobi Water have designed one of the programs at Ngedu, where we lose 30 million liters of water every day because of the filtration system. Just at 2 billion is now going to bring back that 30 million liters, half of Senator Medhu's Sasumwa in his county, just at 2 billion shillings back into the grid. The future will not plan itself, Chair. The challenges are there for the city, but the opportunities are there for us. We hope that, Chair, even to engage the Senate, my senator, our members of parliament, resident associations, there are so many stakeholders, that this year, with our Vision 2050, we can then now look at Nairobi, by the year 2050, with a population of 10.5 million people, what needs to be done today, moving that way. So Nairobi is a peculiar city. As you've said, I saw a report saying that our revenue is that of 30 counties combined. The GDP of Nairobi is $28 billion. Rwanda as a country is $11 billion. Burundi as a country is $2 billion. We're engaging financiers out there saying, look, you can support Nairobi directly. We want to come to you, and I gave a presentation to the devolution committee. We want to come to you on how you can enable us as a county move beyond the limitations of municipal financing that this city needs. Unless we get significant financing it has been raining. People are talking about drainage. To expand the drainage to the extent that we'd want is billions of shillings. So unless we can be able to discount our future income, we know for sure we'll never get less than 20 billion a year, whether or not we collect on-source revenue. And I told you it is going up. Unless we can be able to do that, we've gotten transactional advisors. We'll need the Senate to support us in that process. So, Chair, there are many things that I can talk about, but let me not talk about it. But just to underscore, I've been a senator longer than I've been a governor. I've been a legislator. Leadership needs bold decisions to be made. You find a situation, you look at it, you address it. While addressing it also, you must make sure you create political stability, for you to be able to implement it. Unlike NMS, whatever was there, one, we are not military, we have to work with the people. Then, whatever entity was there was not a threat politically to anyone. No one was trying to pull it down. But now that where we are, and I'm very happy that despite a lot of misinformation that has been out there, the Senate, and particularly your committee, has been objective enough to look at the issues. I want to conclude by saying that I'm very happy that this notion or idea that the county government of Nairobi, or the governor of Nairobi, does not want to be held accountable. I hope that that is debunked. Chair, I've come to the Senate more than any other governor. This is today is possibly my 13th appearance in this financial year, to different and various committees. Out of 15 invites, in fact, for you, you said one invite, that was missed, or two. We are ready for accountability, being accountable. And I keep telling you, audit is a tool to help the county. But I want my officers to know that no one will protect you again. Everybody must answer for themselves. Everybody must must be able to answer for the actions they take, no matter who is your boss. And that is why everybody signs a performance agreement. I have performance contracts with my CECs. They have in turn signed performance contract with the chief officers up until director level. So I want to thank you for your cooperation. The Senate really can support Nairobi County in many counties. If governors understand what the true essence of Senate is, I think we can actually make our counties work, and we can make Nairobi work. So thank you for your patience. We've taken a whole day, but just to let you know that I'm available to come. And in fact, I was telling the Committee of Devolution, I will also proactively invite the committees and even this committee to look at specific issues in order to help us be better at serving Mwananchi. Our citizens sometimes are not very patient in terms of what they want everything now. But we must also, as political leaders, carry them along and let them know this is what we're doing. This is the progress we're making. We're not there. And sometimes we may falter, but we've moved from point A to point B, and we're moving to point C. That is the essence of leadership, Chair. So I want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Governor. Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Chair. Because my colleagues were generous enough to donate their time. Governor, sometimes you read the room. These guys have been here from morning. And it is not always necessary to put out your view of your achievements at every point. I can assure you, when Nairobi works, it will not come from you. You will be hearing it from the people of Nairobi that in Embakasi South it is working, in North it is working, in Dagoretti it is working. So personally, I would encourage you that some of these issues that you raise, we have differences of opinion as to how well they are working, but I think it is within your right can I use the word trumpet, or I will be ruled out of order? Some of the things that you are doing in order for the city to work. But when this city works, Governor, you will never have to say it, I can assure you, because you will be hearing it from the people themselves. So I want to thank the members of the committee for their patience, because as the chair has said, we have a very, very unique county here in Nairobi, and some of the stories that have emerged, you can see from the discussion that they are very unique. They don't happen anywhere else. And Governor, I think our responsibility as leadership is to paint the correct picture of the state of affairs of the county of Nairobi, so that we can be helped. When I'm trying to convince my colleagues here, and I'm happy that this year we were in consonance, to vote for higher resources to go to the counties, they should be in the picture of some of these challenges that we're going through. If I am trying to convince a senator from Lamu that we are not the same, that our electricity bill alone is equivalent to his equitable share, then it helps when we paint this picture for everyone, for us to know the sort of situation we are in. Some of the discussions here, and you yourself have admitted, there is just some embarrassing things that go on in our county that no one can be proud of. If you buy a machine that you know very well cannot fit in any of the premises you have. How do you explain that? So it is important for us to bring out the challenges we are facing as a county so that we can actually be helped. And specifically for this committee, Governor, this committee has been extremely helpful to you and your county government. From the decision of NMS on pending bills, that happened before this committee. The question of update schools is happening, in the conversation is happening in the Senate. Me and the MP for Madare are sponsoring an amendment to the Education Act to recognize those schools so that you don't have an excuse as to why you are not feeding the kids in those schools. The question of Mama Margaret Kenyatta Hospital was resolved in our Senate Health Committee, chaired by Senator Mandago. And of course, the passage of the extra resources for this county. So my encouragement is that you need to paint the actual picture. In Nairobi, nobody is going to be patient with you. It doesn't matter how many times you repeat that it's only been 1.5 years. This is one of those counties that you build the boat as you sail, because nobody is going to wait for you. At the end of the day, somebody who requires those services, the roads, the medicine, the healthcare, is not going to sit back and say, oh, by the way, our governor is still dealing with the NMS problems. We must work on these problems progressively as we move on. So for me, really, I don't want to speak further than that. We just hope that finally we will unlock the formula to make sure that this city works. I thank you, Chair.